to the English with Kirsty podcast from www.englishwithkirsty.com. Here I'll be sharing with you tips, information and other learning resources so that you can improve your business English. Hello everybody and welcome to the first episode of the English with Kirsty podcast. I decided to do a podcast because a lot of my learners want to improve their listening skills, and also because I like podcasts. I've used them in the past to work on my German and my Turkish, both podcasts that were made for language learners and also podcasts that were made about my topics of interest. So things that if I'm interested in this topic, I'm more likely to listen to a podcast about it, and if I can do that in another language, that's great. But sometimes it's good to have podcasts that are made especially for learners, with information that learners would be interested in. So I decided to do that for my customers and my students, but also to hopefully help some other new people as well. So this podcast is mainly for people who need to work on their business English. We won't have that topic every time, but it's mainly for professionals who know that they need to work on their English because it's important for them in their day-to-day working lives. So there will be some specific topics relevant to business, but there will also be other topics. So general tips for learning and how to communicate effectively, because before I was an English teacher, I was a communications manager. So I was working with people whose native language was already English, but who wanted to or who needed to be able to communicate better. So I also have that experience. And I think it's important not just to learn English, but to learn how you can use that knowledge in your working life to make sure that you can communicate well. So there'll be some information there on communication. There will be some information about grammar, because although it may not be the most exciting topic, if you know the grammar and understand how the rules work, then you're going to be able to construct better sentences and sound more persuasive. If you're trying to ask people to do things, you sound more eloquent. It will just be better for you if you understand the grammar well. So there'll be some information on that. There'll be some information on vocabulary, particularly business vocabulary, but maybe some of the more unusual terms that you may not have heard, like idioms and things that we say that you may not have come across before. And also some personal experience about learning, because I'm not just a teacher, I'm also a learner. I've learnt several languages, or spent time learning several languages. German is my main one. I'm fluent in German now, but I've also worked on other languages, the most recent of which was Turkish. So I have information to share from the point of a learner as well. And maybe I'll do some interviews in the future. I haven't sorted that out yet because this is just episode 1, but it is a plan that I'll be speaking to some other learners and language professionals and people whose experience may be of use to you. So podcasts are a great way to take in audio content. You can listen to them anywhere, on the way to work, walking the dog, doing the housework, keeping fit, anywhere. So it's a good way to make English part of your everyday routine, because most of us don't have a lot of time. So if you can listen to a podcast whilst doing something else, then you're not taking extra time out of your day. So I hope you'll enjoy these podcasts. Some may be longer, particularly if I'm interviewing somebody or doing one of my how-to topics with several points. That may go a bit longer, but basically I'm planning to keep them around 10 to 15 minutes. So bite-sized podcasts, and then if you want to listen to them again, you can, but it's not something where you have to take an hour out of your time to listen to each episode. So I hope you find them useful, and I look forward to hearing from you. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the English with Kirsty podcast. If you have any questions or comments, my email address is kirsty@englishwithkirsty.com, or you can go to www.englishwithkirsty.com/podcast, where you'll find information about the individual episodes.